Hello, everybody. I'm not ready for an hour-long video here. I'm just looking at things, questioning them, and wondering how they could be natural in this case. I mean, they're mountains, and let's face it, to say that mountains were created by people walking on the land is a stretch. And so it almost brings up this whole Anunnaki gold mining question. I'm not here making statements. I'm here asking questions. And I'd like to know about this mountain and why the lines. I know when you look at it, you think, oh, that's not 90 degrees. That's not so special. But I have to say that when you look at the fact that it could align with these ancient guttural lines, this must be really old, folks. Let's go back to 2D real quick. I might have to get out of Google Earth for this one, but as you can see, that's a real clear 90-degree angle, and I know that the shading, the shadowing of the day makes a difference, but in general, you can see one line. I'm going to try to align it with the screen's horizontal, and it's not perfectly 90 degrees. I'm not going to lie to you. I did write 90 degrees in the title, but I would say anywhere between 85 and 95 degrees, or the opposite, 5 degrees, whatever. This guttural rock formation here, it looks like it's trees right now, but it lines up with the top of the mountain, which I've demonstrated again and again and again. I go to the desert where I grew up, and I look at because I remember the first time I flew an airplane from... it was a small airplane, and so it was, I didn't fly it myself. I have flown small airplanes, technically, myself. I have flown an airplane, but I've never landed an airplane because I don't have a pilot's license. But the person who did, I think we took off from this airport here. Is it? I forgot. Okay, this is an airport. It was probably this one. Such a long time ago. I flew from here and I went to Vegas just for the day. This guy was super rich and had money for airplanes. And we flew over and I saw the desert for the first time ever. I mean, I had seen it from major airports. Let me just... There we go. I can see the viewers. I've got the thing set up. Hello to my chatters. If there's anybody there, please chat. Going over the desert, I would like that's an interesting line, right? But it could be totally natural at this point for me. I mean, there's lots of things I'm going to look at. I'm sure North America's got its old ancient structures that are embedded. Look at that. That's so beautiful, huh? I do miss California. That's a beautiful little rock formation. I'd love to actually walk around that. It's gigantic. Squaw Tank Trail. Just because I grew up there doesn't mean I knew everything. There's Barker Dam. There's Yucca Valley. Barker Dam. That's we're looking at Joshua Tree. Skull Rock. That's Joshua Tree right there. Barker Dam. I remember that. I went there when I was a kid. And look at those lines. You can kind of see the lines there. And those rocks. I've hiked through there. But no straight lines and no spinal mountains in the desert I grew up in. I never saw these straight mountains before. But over here oh look, that's kind of straight in a way. But no, I don't think so. That's still perfectly natural looking. And so these people here in Lesotho or South Africa, this is Lesotho. And we're outside the mountains, and I was just looking at that, and I thought, wow, that looks like a 90-degree mountain. And yeah, it's got the line aligned with it. Hey there, Dirk Jensen. Hey there, Skydradiana. Thank you for joining me. Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you, oh, that was made by aliens. This is not my job. My job is to sit here on Google Earth, but I do want to make a couple of observations about this. One of them is that when you look at these lines here, you say, okay, we know that's farming. But how old is it really? Because I've seen a lot of examples, and you can check yourself in the Ancient Insight page on Facebook, Ancient Insight. I do have the one with the S I need to figure out which way I'm going to go. I think I'm with Ancient Insight. So the new channel has the same name as well. I'm trying to keep it all branded. And here's an example of one thing I put on there. Going 2D. It's just this straight line going across this mountain, and which one's older. And I do think that there was a very, very long period of time when things were happening on top of other things that had happened, because I'm seeing these lines go over terraforming. I'm seeing these lines. How old is when I say terraforming, I'm talking about these lines here, these the terracing of the land that farmers do. And in the Ancient Insights page, I've got one that it totally looks like the mountain was put on top of that stuff. So it's like the terraforming is younger than the mountain. Is that possible? Well, it would be if my theory here is that these mountains, there it is right there. It's just a photograph. There's the link. I don't have to go there. Let's go there. We have the time, right? Thank you. So here's this, what I call the spinal mountain. We can measure it. It's not very long, not this one. I found it up in the hills, up in the mountains of Lesotho. It's less than a kilometer. So that's 0.35, 0.36 kilometers long. It's not very long. So when you look at it, you're seeing that the dirt. Okay, so is it possible that the terraforming is going underneath that? I know it looks like we're dealing with a toy train set here with the fake little bushes and the fake sand and the fake dirt. This is real though. These are real photographs, and it looks like the terraforming is actually disappearing underneath the mountain. So you say, which is older, and how old is this terracing? How old is this farming? You see it all over these mountains as you go around them. And yeah, that looks like modern day farming right there to me at this point. It's kind of hard to tell. And sometimes I use the blue man, and you don't get very, where is it? See, you don't get very many good shots of certain areas. But you can still go to, say, a similar area and go to the blue man and look at the terracing. Look at that one. See, here's another example of a straight line going through the mountains. Of course, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at those 90-degree mountains. But let's take a look at this farming here. I wish I could find something a little bit more older looking. This is all pretty much modern day farming here. And if we go in there, it's not as bright. It's really like it's a subsistence farming. Oh, that looks serious. I think that's serious farming. That looks serious. Looks like corn. So that's some serious farming right there. It's even more than subsistence farming, I would say. So there's modern day farms all over these mountains. But some of the terracing I found is way up in the mountains, like up here. And like I said, the blue man, it's called Street View. The Street View doesn't go all over this country. I know that looks like it's doing it, but it's not. When you go up into these top hills, okay, let's turn him off. If we don't, we're never going to get the measuring tool back. That's interesting. See, you zoom in and find stuff all the time. Old, what looks like water pools or something else up in the mountains. Look at these old relics. See, I gotta get this spot here. At least I've got it on the video, because I'm not going to write it down or take a screenshot right now. It's very old, up in the hills. People living up there, huh? Okay, this is not a good example. Let me go to another one. You do find this terracing going way up, and it almost looks like it's no longer modern day. I mean, this is 2,500 meters above sea level right here. And where are the houses? They go way up to the top of the hills, and nobody's living around there. It seems like the terracing has been done. I mean, where's the roads? I mean, who's doing it? Are they walking up there? Okay, there's the village. So when you see a village, you see a lot of stuff. Anything can happen. They can climb up the mountain. But sometimes I've seen some of these that look like it's super old. So I just wonder, again, which is older, the mountain or the terracing? And the reason I say that is because it looks like the mountain's built right on top of some of this terracing. I mean, you can see that the terracing does follow the shape of the mountain, but when you see these lines cut through, then you really have to wonder, was this intelligently done? Going back to my, that's my desert. Now, the last point I wanted to say about the desert is, make sure I'm very clear. I don't see straight line mountains in my desert. Growing up, I never saw that. I studied my desert growing up. My California desert. Oh, look at that volcano. I don't know where that is. That's interesting. Where's that at? Interesting. But there, you don't see a lot of straight lines. That's very close. That's on the way to Highway 40. And I would always cut through and go through the desert and cut past Highway 40 and then meet 15 right about here to get to Vegas. So I would always go straight up. I wouldn't go back over to the 15. Now, to be honest, it's about the same trip, but that's definitely longer if you go to the 15. It's better to just go north. So, yeah, Vegas was just basically... Wait a minute. I'm a little bit messed up here. Not quite north of me. I would have to go over towards there to catch it, though. So actually, going over here to the 15 was always a good option as well. But I didn't even want to do that. I'd prefer to go through the desert, make sure you have water, make sure you have your phone. Yeah, the problem is I'm reading your comments. The problem is I am on Google Earth, and I'm not on the ground. It is a problem. And it's not my job because I'm this guy looking at the map. I'm here looking at the map, asking questions. And when people start to try to control my dialogue, my narrative, and especially when it's in the form of a question, I kind of wonder what what is their strategy? What are they trying to achieve? Anyway, so that's the point about my desert is I didn't find straight lines, but going to Google Earth and finding this, here, let's go out, these 90-degree shapes there and there. I mean, to me, that's like a slap in the face because that's not a natural curve. I mean, we do have a straight line of mountains, and then we have another straight line. Now, these, we see what looks like other ancient straight lines, and you see the gutters, meaning it aligns with what I've been showing in the past. You see them, but then it looks like it's much older. So I wonder how long. And this is probably the oldest example. Here, I'm looking at this thing and saying, is that a triangle? Is that really so old? No, that's probably natural. That couldn't be manipulated by intelligent beings, could it? Well, we see these old lines going through, and some of them look straight. So I just wonder, how is that like the first batch of mining? We see some other weird little caverns that are matching the ones that I've shown you in the past, and they do have these same lines going right along it. So is that signs of some type of an ancient mining operation right there? That looks so natural that it must, if I'm right that it was intelligently created, and you can see these lines going through here like that and through here like that along where it breaks away. I think they're trying to get into the underlying earth for minerals, gold. Here's another ancient line there and there. It's like a scoring, like they're going to cut glass, they're going to score it first, and then they're going to cut into it and snap it later on. Or maybe those are roads where ancient machines went around and collected these minerals. Have no idea. But what I can say is that 90-degree mountain that I showed you, number one, has deliberate angles, and number two, looks like it was set right on top of this terracing. So you don't see terracing on here, and the question is if it's a fake mountain and it was set on top of farm agricultural terracing 100,000 years ago, then these lines are 100,000 years old. Or 40,000 years ago, I've shown you that there was an ancient civilization here 70,000 years ago. It's the first ancient civilization we can designate. Well, the reason why, any modern gold mines nearby, I don't know about modern. I'm sure there are, but Michael Tellinger has been pushing ancient Anunnaki gold mines that are nearby. In fact, they're right over here. I can take you out of Lesotho, and I definitely want to try to figure out how to get back over there. I should probably just open a separate. Let's use this map. I'm kind of done with my desert. And when you go here, I have the link. They're all about here. And I have the link, and I can show you because I just put the link up. This is something random I found, though. I have to get into here and ancient history and go all the way to the bottom. Oh, wow, I got a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so this was it here. These it said ancient sites around Adam's calendar. Wow, I have the same one. I must have saved it twice in a row that day. And you can zoom out and you can see the ancient sites there. And this is not Google Earth. This is Google Calendar, or Google Maps, I guess. And you can zoom into each one. And I think I did put that up on the ancient insights. Now these are very light circles, but he's claiming there's like 1 million of them. And you do see like these. You say, oh, that's. Now these don't look like they're walls, but then again, people could have gone and taken the stones from them. Some of the other ones do have existing stones. Some of them are quite large. So these are not modern day. Michael Tellinger claims they're 100,000 years old or older. And he's basing it on the theory that somebody was mining gold in an intense way, way back then. And I see, I don't know, this thing right here, it's got, he's proven through using sacred geometry, these things have a layout. I'm seeing a hexagon, but I don't want to get into that right now because they're so different. And you can see these circles all over the place. I don't know, the link here is kind of hard to tell you. I do have it on my Ancient Insights Facebook page right here, and if it's not, I'll put it soon. This to me, this is just an example of the terracing where it looks like it hasn't been used in a long time. I mean, I guess somebody's in there doing the darker stuff is the tilled ground, I'm assuming. And then the lighter stuff is the ground that hasn't been touched. And then you've got this batch of trees that just grew over everything. I thought that was kind of weird. Again, let's see. Oh, we've got Carrie Lorb's multidimensional. A super thick mud flood. Yeah, and that was the thing I was going to say here, but I forgot to mention it. First we find the mountains. There they are. And we can zoom in, and it looks like, that there's nothing growing. Maybe a little bit stuff's growing. It's green here, but there's no terracing. Nobody's terracing that. Nobody's using it for farming. It's not that high. But I guess they think, oh, I don't want to go to the top of the mountain to farm every day. I'm going to go down. There's the houses right there. So let's see if we've got any street view at all nearby here. The nearest street view is still pretty far away. Actually, I wouldn't mind going in there and seeing what we can see, but it's just a cul-de-sac. We do have this what I call, I mean, these things are straight parallel lines, okay? Now, I understand, wait, let's get out of street view so I can measure this. But these straight parallel lines are about 30 meters across. This one is only 10 meters across, 11 meters across. So that's pretty thin. It's almost one of the thinnest one I've looked at, but it's still straight lines that are parallel, and this line goes this way. And when you see that gutter, I call it a gutter. When you see that gutter, you know that it's cutting through rock. For some reason, whatever happened, it separated these ancient rocks, and it goes all the way down, and you can follow it. Sometimes disappears, and you can see modern day agriculture is usually the culprit. But here it seems to continue there. It did curve. It's not a straight line. And cuts down and turns into this 90-degree angle, but that's now a mountain. I do see a road going through it, so it's not a perfect mountain. It looks like almost deliberately left this little gap there, but it still looks like it's a separate creation from the underlying mountain. I mean, there's a road right there. So we're talking about something big. It wouldn't be something that I think you could do with shovels. Could you do it with a bulldozer? Well, a bulldozer makes a road like that. So I don't think you could even make a mountain like this with a bulldozer. And it seems like it's dropped on there, but then you've got this crevice that aligns with it. So it looks like a plaster job right there. It looks like a plaster job. Like that's the original, and that's plastered on, like you said, mud flood. Like mud just flooded into it. But mud doesn't flood into a 90-degree angle then turn corners. And this line continues on, and you see something here. Okay. You see the natural river there, but right above it you see this line continues this way. It doesn't stop. It goes there. It's like the dashes. You can kind of see a line here. That looks like the top of another mountain. If you zoom way out, you can kind of see this line connect up to your mountain. And wow, is this even part of the artificialness? Because it intersects there, this line right there. So is this line going over this line? Which line is going over which? Now the other side, we see like natural mountains and crevices and maybe some ancient, like over here, I'm looking at this line and I'm thinking this must be much, much more older and ancient than the mountain itself. Like this line was the 200,000. I mean, Michael Tellinger has been talking about 400,000 years of activity. He says that his Adam's calendar could be over 100,000 years old. And now I think he's changed the name to Enki's calendar. So this is all correlating with Sumerian text. But that line right there, and then I can't help but look at these other lines. Those seem like they're natural floodways, but they seem like they've had some type of a reaction to this line. And then you've got this. So this is two mountain. Oh, what's the word we used? The valleys going down and meeting. So this would be natural as well. Maybe they could have had a little help, but I do think that this line right here is something that is more deliberate and intended to like a road or a passageway or whatever. But then the mountain's right on top of it. Or did it go up over? Do we see this line go over? I don't. Well, there's a little bit of a valley there. So that's the other mountain, but then we've got this one. It looks like it was plopped right on top of all that other stuff. And you can see there must be some kind of difference in the soil, because otherwise there'd be more brown terracing up here where the farmers would use this land. But it seems like it's a different type of not as useful soil, maybe something more like cement made for walls. Yeah, there were giants. But I don't even see how a giant could have done this without the help of machines. You can see a straight line going through there. I see these, and if you look at it, it's like leg mountains. And it looks like they're deliberately juxtaposed, I see, or juxtaposed. So they're like the opposite direction. Like somebody's just joking around. I don't see a lot of precision in this work. Why they would do it, I would assume, is to let some river run down or passageway run down. And they're coming from the mountains, and it looks like it gets to about here before it's not as useful. I guess that's the very top right there, because that's where they've got these, well, not the very, very top. And you see this mountain here, think, wow, is it possible that was created by a machine? Look over here. Do you see another 90-degree mountain happening right there? And that's really high, so it would be hard. And it doesn't look like it's been plopped on top of anything, or does it? You can see the terracing come up to about here and stop. Yeah, big giants have big machines. But how big are these giants? We never found I've never seen a skeleton of a human bigger than a couple of meters, or maybe maximum 11, 12 feet. I don't know where you can find any evidence of larger humans. That's not that much bigger. I mean, maybe. Then we get to a point where you wonder, is it still natural, or is it now this is more modern day. I mean, it just looks like a train set. So we might even think about getting into some other like satellites.pro is pretty good. Oh, there's a richat structure. What am I doing there? It's just a little bit harder to... Where were we? Down here? Down here? Whoops. And now let's find the mountains. I think they're right about here. There they are. Now, unfortunately, we can't rotate this. But there's the one L and there's the other L right there. And I was looking at these mountains over here just now. You can see other straight lines. Especially as you get over here, it seems like you get a little bit more. Look at this line right here cutting all the way across there. And of course, that ridge is so old because you've got these rivers going over them, cutting over, but you still see the guttural thing that I talk about. What created that? Why is it parallel? Why are these two straight lines? Even at this short distance, such a straight line, here to here, let's just go from here to here, that's not even a tenth of a mile. So the tenth of a mile is still, for me, a tenth of a mile of a parallel line still would say, oh, that must be man-made. But that's too big to be man-made, and that line cuts a long, long distance. Here's more gutters. Here's more gutters. You can see it there. And with the Amazon forest showing more and more evidence of earthen mounds, and now that we know people were there 25,000 years ago, if the out of Africa theory still holds any credence, it would have to be even older than, say, the 200,000 year. I'm talking about the History of the World Everyday video that I often show. It shows that humans are 200,000 years old, and they don't reach North America until about 20,000 BC, or actually I think it says 12,000 BC, the same time as the Younger Dryas event. Well, if they weren't humans, who were they? And I keep mentioning Occam's razor, and Occam's razor says this is natural geological form. Okay, that's what Occam's razor says. That the most practical explanation is probably what it is. So you can start there, but then when you see 90-degree lines in mountains and proof, well, then you have to start asking new questions. And the theory here is that this land has been used a lot longer. I got lost again, and now I don't know where I am. There's one more thing I'd like to show in this, and it's this parallel structure. And I can't rotate this. Too bad. Can I rotate this? I really wish I could. That structure, I'm going to call it a parallel structure because it's exactly a kilometer apart. And the actual lines are 100 yards apart. So when we measure these lines, I've already looked at this before. And it's just, when you talk about feet or yards, and you talk about kilometers, a kilometer is measurement that comes from the earth itself. So you definitely have to have intelligent beings create the kilometer. Before the kilometer, we had the foot and the yard and the mile. And I think you can listen to Randall Carlson explain all these units of measurement pretty nicely. And I'm seeing those types of units of measurement here, 100 yards across. Now, the funny thing is that this, if you follow this line here, this parallel structure here, you look how gigantic it is. That's what I don't like about Satellites Pro. It's kind of hard. You can see this is definitely a 90-degree angle here, right there. And so I wish I could control it a little better. That line goes here, and the 90 degree is there. And you can follow that down and get another 90-degree line here. But if you follow this line farther down, keep going here, you find yourself a whole secondary, there it is, a secondary structure, not quite parallel, but with these lines going away from the mountains, and it's like an ancient grid system of some sort. And you can follow these lines and try to figure out where they were going. I can't figure it out, but that as you can see, it kind of points towards right about here. And it's following that same line. So if you look at this and get close to it, I'm sorry, I'm having some problem. You can see the spinal mountain, the guttural formations in mountains. There it is right there. So you can see that there was like some type of a grid system set up. Yeah, but unfortunately, Skydra, I'm going to say Skydra Diana. I'm going to say, unfortunately, here nowadays you get shamed for asking questions, and it implies you, when you ask a question, that you're an idiot. This is what the modern day bully speech, or what we've seen Trump. I mean, I'm not necessarily against Trump, for Trump, against Biden, for Biden. Although I didn't really like the fact that Biden just attacked Syria. I'm not really sure what's going on there. But I just saw that headline, and I was like, oh no, here we go again. Middle East dominance. Okay, so there you go. Two straight lines there. I mean, not straight, not 90-degree angle straight, but you've got that one part where it connects down to this other one here. And I just am in awe that nobody has noticed this or questioned it. And why is there a 90-degree angle so old and ancient cutting through rock? And it doesn't. Thank you, Dirk. And it doesn't take a lot of brains to ask these questions. You know, the thing is that I ask a lot of questions about everything. I can't hear somebody, I ask them to repeat themselves. And I've had people get frustrated with me for asking too many questions and ridiculing me and saying, ugh, you know, or maybe I missed something, and they say, you didn't hear. Look at that. This line, of course, goes straight north-south. It's a mountain ridge. Now, I'm not really thinking that the orientation north-south has anything to do with their intentions back then, because I see a lot of sloppiness. And it's like these lines weren't laid out for beauty. Look at that one. You can see the ridge. Up here, you can see a very clear separation. The gutters at the top. See, I don't have these things in my desert mountains back in the States. Interesting. Yeah, that sounds interesting. There are no forests on planet Earth, so that means that, well, I don't know what it means, but I should check it out. If you do have the link, go ahead and try plopping it down. You can break it up if you can just put the watch code. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you. Let's go to the music that I used at the beginning of my video. This is a channel that I was trying to develop, and I put this video on there to see if this music was copyrighted, and it doesn't come up as a copyright, not strike, but a violation. And it's from New Earth. Now, when you mention that it's translated from Russian, I kind of think maybe the New Earth channel did it, because I think she's either Russian or Ukrainian. Or maybe not Ukrainian. I shouldn't say Ukrainian. Possibly, but I'm not sure where she's from. I think she mentioned it once, and it was definitely one of those Balkan countries, if I'm not mistaken, or Russian. And this music, I love it. I think it's inspirational. I'd like to know who did it. She probably knows. Megaliths.org, Atlanta, Lemuria times ruin. So this video, I'm looking at stuff that would have to be pre-Atlantis, because I think Atlantis was destroyed, as Plato mentioned, 12,000 years ago. But what we're looking at here in Africa, why did I pull this up? Oh, I know why I pulled it up. To tell you, you can just put the watch code here. So this code here, I'm going to put it into the chat. And if there's any problem putting up videos, yeah, if you find it, or you can put it up later. I see all my comments at this time. I'm not a person that, if I definitely try to heart the comment the moment I read it. And also, if there's a reason to respond, I try to respond within a day. Sometimes I say something quick and then get back more later. But I'm not that level. I need more subscribers. So please do share this channel. I'm not asking for money. I'm asking for help with subscriptions and sharing the videos. That's why I'm trying to get really good thumbnails. Now this right here, I just don't get it, because this looks like it almost was done with a bulldozer. No, usually you can tell bulldozer. You can tell bulldozers very easily, and I'll even give you a quick show. Oh, this map is perfect for it, because when I was doing... You gotta find the road. Where's the road? When I was doing... There it is, right here. I was following this road, and I was finding a lot of bulldozed sites. And you can tell it's a bulldozer because of the way it looks. We have to find it. Okay, this is right here. Why are these dots out in the middle of nowhere? I can tell you why I think they're out there. Because the people that built this road, they went up there and they dropped their loads. This is kind of weird that these dots are there. I actually wasn't going to get into this. I've never seen these before. But they are quite sporadic in the middle of nowhere. That remind me kind of similarly to the dots that you find over near Egypt. There's a lot of them over there. I was actually trying to find bulldozing sites that I knew about. And see, these berms that people create are done with bulldozers, but that's quite old and it looks like it's been blown over. The newer ones are what I was looking at a long, long time ago. And I probably should have just deleted those videos, because now I know better. Well, I'll probably never find them now. Oh, and by the way, I do question these ancient lines here. These ancient lines. I mean, I don't know what we're looking at, but some of them are underneath the sand dunes. So they're showing what I say the original flood basin. Okay, I didn't find it. I'm not going to look too hard. Let's try one more time. I thought that we found them right around here. Look at this city. How would you like to live there? And usually outside of the city we find it. Okay, so there's some... yeah, that looks like exactly bulldozer work. And I'm sure there's some more near the road, the main highway. Well, this is really out of focus, but it looks like they did it here and they did it over here. That's interesting. No, that's just boring. Okay, well, I don't want to spend any time looking at that. Let's see what the chat says. That's it? Wait, well, you gave me her channel. Okay. What's the name of it? It's called There Are No Forests on Planet Earth. Okay, well, if I know New Earth did it, then I will search that in a moment. I cannot stay on too much longer, and I've already been on for 40 minutes. Time does fly when I'm doing this. That's for sure. I do enjoy it. And I think I'm a little bit better than I was 2 years ago. Okay, I do want to stick with the main theory of this, thesis of this video is that 90-degree angle mountains have been discovered. I have to turn this back north. If you want to find this place, I can tell you how to find it. There's Lesotho. And let me turn off the measurement. Wait, 11 meters? What's 11 meters? Is that it? Oh, that's that gap. See, so that was the one line that I found. Let me just turn that off. And then we'll go back in. There's the mountains I'm talking about. So to find this place, just go out, and when you get to that notch right there, just go straight down. There's other stuff here. I've shown it already. And if you haven't seen it, I'd like to show you very quickly this structure. Again, parallel lines. That's a road now. But we know that roads do follow natural formation, so I believe that line already existed. This line goes across a big, look at that, that's 1790, 1787, so 1780 meters above sea level, and then we get down here into this valley and it's 1561. So why is the line, that's 1609, why is this line starting here, 1622, 1645, 1765, it just went up 100 feet right there. Going across there, the highest point is 1782, and then back down 1736, here is 1764. Why is that line so straight? It's almost like it was done, and we have this dugout berm that occurs. I've shown this many times, so I won't talk about it too much. We've got this triangle that occurs here. I was showing this to the girlfriend, and she claims that's natural, and I said, look, you can go comment on my channel. I don't think that's natural at all. It's old. I think it's old. Okay, what's going on with the chat? I'm getting chats, and I'm not seeing them all. All right. All questions in this conversation, nothing about the theater of current politics. I am more than grateful for what you're doing. And what am I doing? I'm just kind of looking at things I'd like to search. This area was introduced to me by Zero Control, and he's been doing this for quite a long time. Look at this triangle. You see triangles. I don't know what's going on there. Triangles. There's a line here. There's a line here. Why is there a triangle in the middle of the mountains? You can see circular, like, and they're within the lines, they're within the boundaries. Look at this one. This one, the plateau, this one's kind of hard to see. Let's go to 3D. The plateau looks like it actually was changed from the scoring of the line. And then at the end of the triangle, you see a circular thing, just kind of like that other structure. It starts to make me wonder what's older. The natural escarpment, the natural embankment, which is not just an embankment, it's quite high, or the actual scoring of that. Okay, I can't see it right now, so I'm going to back out. That's just one. That's just one of so many. And personally, I'm not into this area. I'm just doing it now because I want to know what's going on here. I'll probably get bored with this someday, but not right now. And it took me a while. I mean, I was Anthony of Zero Control showed this stuff to me. Well, it seems like they carved it out of, they scored it, and then they used that scoring as a distribution line, or some type of a movement line to move something somewhere. Whether or not it was minerals and gold, I don't know. You can see that triangle here. It's there. There's a triangle point, or I should just say angle. And then down here you see another one right there. So it's like they're and I know that you may not see what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing a line go to about here, and then come back out that direction and go down the mountain. Just these lines don't care about hills and mountains. They just move it straight. That's why it just seems so bizarre to me. I didn't see the heart. I'm sorry, Dirk. I'll have to double check that. And I don't know if I can go. Oh, that thing right there? I see what you're saying. You're saying that's a heart. Well, yeah, and I think that I don't see a line from here to here. Otherwise, I would totally agree. But I do see the same thing where you've got the line not embracing, but going along the side of where this worked. And yesterday I did a video, or maybe 2 days ago now, where I showed, I don't know how to show it to you so quickly. I showed basically 3 crevices that were, and you can go to Ancient Insight, go at Ancient Insight, Facebook. And there's some dots in Morocco. Those are probably modern day, right? Yeah, I'm posting so much stuff here that it's oh, there it is. So this one right here, this natural water event created a new embankment or escarpment, and then you got the line going right across it, damming it up. That's a 20-foot high mountain. Now, I think that could have been done by shovels, but there's 3 of them there, and they happen to match the same straight spinal mountains that I'm talking about, these spinal mountains that I've never seen occur in my deserts, in my mountains, in the United States. But we do have mounds. We have a lot of mounds. Look at that nice little lake in the middle. I would love to hang out. Is that a spinal mountain there? Certainly do have some type of artifacts up there. What's that? That looks like it was that. And look, you've got the terraforming underneath it getting covered up by the mountain. Which came first? The terrace or the mountain? Well, that would be true, but I've never gotten a... Yeah, Ethan, it's a dam. It's not a dam. It's not a dam because there's no water going through there, but it's creating a damming effect. It's acting like a dam, and I can show you ancient dams all over that are definitely older than the sand dunes above them up in the northern area. No, you're here late, Ethan. You're here late. Did you see the mountains? How long have you been watching? Because I was looking at these 90-degree mountains. I'm just gabbing now because it's 47 minutes into the video. But the very beginning of the video is what you want to look at and tell me those aren't created by some type of intelligent... And they're bigger than man. We already discussed it. I think they're bigger than even the giants that existed in ancient times. For example, First Testament Bible times. Where was that? You can kind of see because they look soft, not hard and rugged. Well, I have to go back out and find them this way. So I go to this point right there, and then I just go down to about here in Koning. You can see the two. There's the one parallel line structure that's attached to this parallel line structure down here. I know, Ethan, if you're just getting here, you can't explain that, Ethan. It's not natural. It's not natural, the 90-degree angle, but the mountains that I was talking about are right down here. Gotta find them. I want to go to Kome Caves. I'm going to just have to go from the beginning. We found 3 of them. Okay, I'll go to the beginning. Just go to my ancient insights. It's definitely a deliberate dam, Ethan. I'm sorry you can't see that. But we'll just start from the beginning. These juxtaposed, sorry, I want to put supposed in there. Juxtaposed. Yeah, that's the thing. What? I'm sorry, Ethan, it's already been proven. It's already been proven. You're saying it's not biologically possible. I'm talking about the stories that are in the Bible and what that was probably related to. We're talking about... And I also agree that giants couldn't have done this. Look at this. There it is, Ethan. That's a 90-degree angle right there. We already talked about... I'm not going to go over it again, but we already talked about the fact that it's connected to these lines that go... And that line, I know it's not exactly 90 degrees. We already talked about that as well. But there's 2 of them here. I know that you're going to say that's natural. I know what you're going to say. Because you're automatically starting from the premise that I'm wrong and don't know what I'm talking about. Whereas I'm starting from the premise, I'm questioning things and saying, I've never seen this before. Why is it happening? So your logic's flawed. Your logic's flawed. Okay, that line goes on and on and on and creates these guttural... creations in ancient rock. I mean, I'm not saying that this mountain is older than that mountain. This man-made... Okay, I don't want to use the word man-made. Yeah, a little bit more than 90 degrees. I would say maybe even 100 degrees. Or add 10 degrees. But there's another one. When I say 90 degrees, I already said in my previous video that it's going to be, and you know, if you want to argue small details, like I said, you're coming in late. I've already acknowledged the fact that they're not exactly 90 degrees. But again, they're quite old. What I want you to do is tell me why some natural double L juxtaposed mountain is going to create itself right on top of what's probably an older, ancient, real natural mountain, although I do question this one too. And I've already talked about the fact that this terraforming, which you can see, looks like it's older than the mountain on top of it. Why aren't they farming on top of that? So Ethan, you can write everything you want to write. I'm going to read it, but at the same time, you're not going to. I mean, I'm only asking questions, Ethan. You've already said I've stated stuff that, and you seem like you think I'm saying 100% definitively that aliens did this, and I'm not. First of all, and I quote Occam's razor theory again to say it would have to be man that probably did it. But how did they do it? But the Anunnaki theory is that it was aliens, and since it's out there, I question it, and I added into the question, could it possibly be an ancient alien race that did this? I've already talked about this enough. I mean, you have a line going across this plateau. You have a line going across this plateau. Okay, I have to read what you wrote. Would you say that a lizard the size of a school bus is a giant? Well, we're talking about dinosaurs. This is not minerals, Ethan. These are mountains. These are mountains. I got to figure out how to get in there. Koenig. It's Koenig. And you can see them from quite a distance. And this line goes on for a long time. And I'm wondering about this triangle too. Wondering if this was like their first ancient mine. This line here, it's not part of what I just showed you, but it seems like it's much older. It goes on quite a bit and joins up with some other ancient structures, maybe natural, maybe not. Look at this one. There's another one right there. This one here, it looks just like those other ones where you've got the curve. It's possibly some type of mineral removal going on here. And the road on the mountain edge, or the line, taking those minerals where? I don't know. Some processing center, I guess, right? I already showed you the Anunnaki landing pads. They're made of dirt. Mountains are made of dirt. And by the way, if you notice, these mountains don't have anybody farming on them. Nobody's farming on them. Why not? To go back out again. Why is there no terracing up at the top area here like we see on those other mountains? See, I'm beginning to believe that this terracing, even though it's used here, is much older than we know. Because like I said, and I showed earlier, it's going all over the top of the mountains in the middle of nowhere. And it looks like it hasn't been used in years. This is what I would say is the new mountain right there. And you can see that it kind of just covers right up and goes over this terracing. I don't know, maybe the dirt just slopped over, but as I showed you a moment ago, it looks like a train set to me. It looks like a train set. Well, that's it, guys. We're almost at 1 hour. Thank you for the comments. I'll go through. No, actually, I showed you, Ethan. I've already demonstrated they're not just made of soil that dropped down. And by the way, soil changes over time through metamorphic and other weather changes, erosion. The one that I showed you was, I would have to go here, right? I showed you in a previous video what these mountains were made of. I showed you in a previous video. Where was that? This was an interesting one too. Another set of parallel lines that seem like they're controlling flow of some, like a river basin movement. That's another one. So how many of these parallel lines do I have to show you? You can say, oh, that's natural, that's natural, that's natural. It doesn't matter how often you say it. Down here, we have this one. Where was it? Down here? First, I got to go north. This one right here. It's right there. Again, we have this whole double parallel structure coming away from the mountains. I've only shown you 3 of these now. And that's in this video. And I think I had some others in a previous video. Nearby ancient lines. I mean, look at that. So you've got we already talked about this, but you've got what I call an ancient line, but then you've got this big triangle of what looks natural coming off of it. Did that formate later after the line? But the one that I'm looking at here is this whole coming from the mountains. You've got like a very skinny valley that gets controlled by 2 parallel lines. And what would do that naturally? Lava flow? And how did it get this bridge going across there? There's these, maybe the gold just went right down in lava form. Yeah, I saw your links. You sent me a Wikipedia link. Thank you for that. Now, I never said it was straight. I also said that these guys were quite sloppy, whoever's laying this stuff out. That just demonstrated that it's more industrial than it is cosmetic. They're not doing it because they want it to look good. They're doing it for an industrial purpose. I have to read all these comments. If you want to know about dirt, you can get nice scholarships if you can actually ask good questions about that. I'm just asking questions here. And Ethan, you're treating me like I'm making statements. There's a parallel structure. Yeah, it's not perfectly straight, so technically not parallel. Although I do have a question about parallel. If you have 2 circles and you cut an arc out of each one and you put those arcs next to each other and they're the same arc, are those parallel or not? Is parallel only straight lines, or can you have parallel curved line? That's my question. Can you have a parallel curved line? Please tell me. Since you taught math, I was wondering about this. I'm not going to go start from scratch. Oh, let's define geology. Let's define science. What links are you talking about? I saw the Wikipedia link and the other link that was next to it just the other day. I didn't see other videos. Maybe I have to double check what you're talking about. And honestly, when you say that's not straight, parts of it are actually very straight. Parts of it are very straight. And these, what I call gutter top mountains, what's making those so straight geologically? They go on for miles. Okay, thank you for answering that. So what are 2 curved lines that match one another? There's got to be a word for that, because I would like to use the correct word. 2 arcs that are side by side and follow the same formula, the same exact arc formula, but different places. There's a straight line there. There's a straight line there. I know that those are not parallel lines, but come on, what created those? And why is it doing this thing that I've never seen before happen to mountains? Well, it's 11 o'clock, 11:20, Friday. I am going to have to go to my new part-time job. I'm teaching at a university. I guess the class starts about 1:15, so I've got time, but I still want to get done here and get to my new job early. I'd like to get there about noon if I could. I don't want to be late. So, again, we've got this. Look at that. Oh, yeah, this is actually, I think this was it. This was it. Let's see if it goes through here. Yeah, there it goes through here. Okay, so Ethan, I'm going to show you right here the side of the mountain. Well, actually, this is not the one. I showed this before, actually, and you can see what the side of the mountain looks like. It's got this crazy hard rock here, but that's basically what these mountains are showing at the road level. Is a lot of what looks like soil on top of it, but nice hard stone. I don't know what kind of stone that is. But here's the thing. On the other side of the street here, you've got the same thing, right? This nice stone. That's stone. That's not like it was put there by man in modern day times, right? But if you look at this spot here, you'll see that it stretches out for, what, about 1/10 of a mile in an exact straight line. A nice, perfectly straight line. Yet we're seeing stone. It's not just dirt. So it's not like it's modern day creation, this mound right here. This mound is far from modern day creation. I mean, you just saw it yourself, right? So why is it so straight? Yeah, sure, maybe the road carved along the side and making it straight, but the houses on the other side, that's also straight. And when we go down here to the other side of this parallel structure, I got to stop calling it parallel, we can see what the mountain looks like as well. Again, you see a weird formation of stones at the top, what I call the spine. And those are nice rounded stones. But here, down here, you've got nice flat, straight stones. And let's cut down here because I want to look at this at a different angle. How do I get over there? I'm not moving? Oh, there it goes. Well, that's the edge of that. Oh, no, that's the other side of a mountain that was cut through. So they cut through this mountain. There's some cows over here, right? Let's go back over there. I kind of went too far. There's some interesting rocks up there. What happened to my cows? I thought, oh, that must be a different picture. Maybe that was the other side. So you can see what they cut through. You can see what these mountains are made out of. I still went too far. Let me just get back out and zoom in where I want to be. So right there, that's what I call the guttural mountain. See, this is not a good example, but we'll go back in and take one more look. I've been here before. I've shown this on video before, so I thought I saw some cows in there. Okay, so where's the rocks I wanted? There, wow, look at those. That shows that other mountain pretty clear. That is ancient right there. Why does that gutter create in there? Why is there a parallel line in the top of it? Yeah, I took geology as well. I mean, I took a bunch of these natural science classes before I knew I wanted to get an MBA, which I still think is a mistake. I don't think anybody should get an MBA ever. MBAs are just, they're worthless. So this is what these mountains look like when they're cut into. I think we can call them hills. They're not quite mountains. See, Ethan, you say totally straight, it's totally natural if you understand geology. See, what you're doing is you're speaking in condescending speak right there when you say that, because you're not explaining. You're actually attacking the man right there in an indirect fashion. That's an ad hominem logical, maybe straw man fallacy that you're making, because you're implying that he doesn't understand geology. Instead of what you should be doing is writing why and how it should be understood. But it seems to me that you're also not a geologist, so you don't have this information. And posting a bunch of links or telling people to go Google it isn't really effective in this scenario. I need real geologists to talk here. Oh, yeah, so are you agreeing with me, or are you, yeah, Dirk, MBAs are useless, and now they're expensive and useless. Yeah, if I were to tell my kid to get any degree, it would be engineering. Physics, maybe. Ethan, are you a geologist? Because the whole "you're not a geologist" argument isn't an argument. And I get that a lot here in Taiwan. You're not a doctor. You're not a geologist. You're not a doctor. You know, and I did take geology, and I do have questions. So you don't have to be a professional, qualified in that school of thought, in that school of theory, to ask questions. Like, what's the name of the guy in Egypt? Dr. What's his name? I saw him do it live. Attack people for asking questions. And talk down to them like they're not qualified. Hawass. I'm not here to send emails to anybody. I'm here to showcase things that I find on Google Earth. This is what my channel's all about. You know, I wish that I could step it up a little bit. Maybe if I had more money, I could step it up and get professional geologists on here on my channel, but I've only got 4,700 subscribers. See, your job is to get me more subscribers by sharing this video. Ethan, when did we meet in person? You know, Taiwan, we know a lot of people, and I've known you more on social media than I have in person. Were you the one that had the textbook and was going to the book show? I'm not considering Ethan attacking me. Attacking me would be more blatant logical fallacies. I just think that there's a better way of approaching this conversation with saying nature is beautiful and it has a lot of different things that it does. I'm looking at lines here that I don't think is natural anymore. And it must be old. We've got. I'm going to keep saying parallel structure, even though it's not quite parallel. It's quite parallel here, in my opinion. Nothing's perfect. I mean, even the pyramids are not perfect, right? And the pyramids were created geodetically according to its location on the earth. And the pyramids, in my opinion, were not created by Egyptians. They're pre-dynastic. And even that is not perfectly north, kind of proving they were built by men as opposed to, say, aliens. I don't believe aliens built the pyramids. But when I look at structures like this and convince myself they're not natural, which I have done, then I have to question, oh, look, here's another one. There's another one. See? See the lines? So where is this? And it's not at all parallel, but you can see it moving on side by side, going and leading away from the mountains. Look at that. Leading away from the mountains, kind of diffusing about here. Maybe not. Getting to one of these structures, which I really wonder about. I see these things all the time, these little circles, and it's like, what have they done here? They chopped off the top of a mountain? That looks like painting. Yeah, I know that parallel has to be perfect. So when I say parallel, I'm being a little bit exaggerating here. Look at that one. Those two lines going right across the mountaintop right there. I mean, what created that cut through? Natural geology. Okay, explain it. You can't, I can't. Okay, so I'm asking, what created that cut through? Why is it cut through the mountains? That's not a fence right there. A lot of times we see lines going over the mountains that are fencing. Those both are not. These are these weird parallel structures that, like it was a wire, a hot wire that they laid across the land, and it just seared right in and left these guttural lines. I honestly can't explain it myself. I'm not going to try because I just don't know. That's a new one though. That's a new one. I haven't seen that before. There it is. Right there. So that was 1, 2, and then the next one I showed. It's got to find it. Something's going on here. These spinal mountains. Okay, let's find the blue. Okay, I got to get off here. I got to go soon. I'd like to know about that one right there. Look at that one. Okay, I got to read this and I got to get off. Well, that's why I asked, what about 9/11? If we ask, do you believe 9/11 was an inside job? Oh, you met me at Bliss? You met me at, where did you meet me? Which bar? Must have been Bliss. That's the only bar I worked at. But the pizza, that was Alley Cats. At Bliss, I wasn't talking about pizza. I was posting pictures of pizza I was making. That was 13 years ago I worked at Bliss. We needed geologists to explain how these can naturally be. But, see, the thing is like, for example, when Graham Hancock invited Robert Schoch to go to Yonaguna rock formations, that's only 120 kilometers away from here. Robert Schoch was very... he was, I don't even know if he was being hired. He probably was getting a payment. And he originally said it looks like it's man-made, and then he took his words back and said, no, Yonaguni is probably naturally formed. I'm pretty sure Robert Schoch paid him for that. And if he didn't pay him, it was out of the more... he had already done Egypt. I'm sure he had already done the work with Anthony West and already declared that the Sphinx was much older than it was. So that's how he got to know Graham Hancock. So he already became famous from that. But then he said, no, Yonaguni was not naturally formed. And then later he came back and said, oh, Yonaguni was probably changed by man later. And so some things are man-made and some things are not. So, geologists also are creating theories as well. I'm just asking questions. And when you say, hey, how can an airplane go through steel girders when the military took a jet and crashed it 500 miles an hour into a block of concrete and it disintegrated? How does a plane get through 3 layers of steel girders? And then the whole collapse of the building is a whole different topic. But when you ask these questions and people say, oh, you're a whack job. Oh, you're not even you're not patriotic. Then it gets hurtful. And that's why I ask how you feel about it, because I want to stir these emotions. Look at those lines. 1, 2, 3. I mean, I've never seen this before. I have taken geology. I don't ever remember seeing this in a geology textbook. I did have one. And when I was in the military, we had to talk about how to go across lands and describe them. And we knew what this was. I forgot the word they used, but it was a valley. And we knew this was a hill. We used our hands. I can't show you because I don't have a webcam. But we would make a fist, and we would put the fist on the table with our knuckles going upright. And we would describe the hand as if it were a mountain to describe where things were. Never saw anything like this. I've seen fire breaks go up the edge of a mountain. So what you would see is no dirt. Fire breaks, they would call it. These aren't fire breaks. These are gutters. And this is like a double gutter. So why there's 2 of them, I don't know. But it's at the top of this. I mean, there's a structure. I just found this. So I've got a lot of reading to do. You guys are arguing about something. I'm going to read that later because I definitely, what is it, 11:30? Oh, yeah. I got to go. I wish I could stay here and talk. I really would love to just talk about this. Let's do it again. We'll start a little earlier, maybe Saturday. Tomorrow's Saturday here. Maybe later tonight. What is tonight's Friday? What's going on tonight? This is very interesting to me. I mean, it's like these 2 lines going this direction. Why are there 2? It's like... And you see the 2 lines going here as well, right? There's still there, 2. And as you go away, where do the 2 lines stop? Why are they there? You can see, wow, it just goes right across. Again, that's not a dam. It just, without even hesitating, instead of going around, it just goes right across there. Straight line. Nice and straight. Right there. Very straight. Gets a little sloppy over that mountain, or maybe we're not looking at it in the right way. Comes right up to the top of this, goes across, kind of disappears. And I think that's the last we see. Oh, no, there it is. Or is it? That's the last we see of it right there. On the other side, it's already disappeared. It kind of disappears right about here. But the funny, weird thing is you can see the two grooves. Let's call it a groove. You can see the two grooves, and then it comes back over here, and you see the two grooves again. So these are definitely continuous lines. They're not like they're okay, you guys are arguing. Ethan, Dirk. Let's just say that the way I feel, Ethan, when you're commenting on these videos, you're coming from a perspective that I'm a whack job. The way you talk. And what you've said before, you've said that I am human. You said humans see patterns. Humans are see patterns. Okay, so I'm a human and I'm showing you a pattern. So does that mean you somehow argued that this is not natural or this is natural? You focus on the thing at hand. This is, I'm saying, not natural. You're saying it's very natural. It looks natural to me. Giving me a link about geology, unless it directly confronts this. I mean, these aren't parallel lines, although it's in a parallel fashion that these two lines side by side went across and met here. Where did this go? Oh, I passed them already? And continued on and helped form part of what appears like there's some type of a formation from this. Why they did it, I don't know. But did they do it? Was it done? Yeah. Deliberately? To me, it looks like it. To me, it doesn't look natural. Oh, I wish I could stick around. Well, there are straight lines in nature, and there's 90-degree angles in nature. But when you see it over and over again happening in this fashion, you have to question it. Although this is not a parallel line, but within these structures, we see parallel things happening side by side. I want to say parallel, but that's the wrong word. Okay, did I get lost again? You know what I really got to do is I got to go, guys. It's 11:39 a.m. Thank you so much. I'm going to Mark is, I can't share that. He asked me not to. This guy Mark. Oh, that's a different Mark. There's a guy named Mark in Spain who's looking at what he thinks is Atlantis, and he's sending me all this information that's quite interesting, but he asked me not to share it, so I cannot share it. You can always contact me privately if you really want to see stuff like that, but I'm not going to share it. These plateaus are amazing. It's hard to wonder what's true anymore for me at this point, so I just got to break away. You got to turn off the street view to get the measuring tool. You can't use both at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to zoom into where I was coning, and I'm going to start the music, and I'm going to get out of here. There it is again. And by the way, I do have plans of moving these videos to another channel someday. But what I think I need to do to make money, since I don't have any money, is, and this channel's monetized, is to get more viral videos on this channel. Maybe I need to change the name again. Maybe I need to change it from my personal name to something ancient. All right, well, I'm going to go to Whack Job Anonymous to help me get over the fact that I believe that this is a 90-degree, deliberately laid out foundation of dirt. And yeah, I got to stop talking about it. It looks like a train set to me when I look at it here. Where's the Pro? Where's Pro? This is a little clearer, in my opinion. But I can't do the 3D that Google Earth does. Okay, I lost it. Cue music. Let's get out of here. Time to go. Thank you very much. I'm going to read these, and I might chat after I stop talking. Where is that? Did I lose it? Where's the music? I lost the music. There it is. Okay, let's play this one more time and I'll get out of here. Please enjoy the New Earth. This is from New Earth. If you were talking about New Earth's channel, this music, it was very inspirational for me from New Earth. So this video ends when the song ends. Here we go. Bye, guys.